Well guys, I hope the series that I just published over the past few days was helpful, answering some of your most frequently asked questions. Now I've collected a montage of these videos. And so through this video, we're gonna answer some frequently asked questions. What's the best potting soil? When should I put my seeds into the soil? What kind of lights do I use? Questions like that. And so if you wanna grow some great looking chestnut seedlings, get them planted outside, and then grow them up into your own producing chestnut trees, follow a little bit of this advice and maybe it'll help. If you have different opinions, feel free to comment below. I'm certainly not the expert, as I've said many times. I'm just demonstrating how I do it, and I've had about 98% success getting the trees from the seed outdoors, and then it takes a couple winters before I kind of go. I would say I'm about 70% survival after about year 3 or 4, between voles, blight, and just general deer and rabbits and so forth, even with all my protection techniques. So this is just a cluster of the 4 previous videos that I put together. Good luck planting those chestnuts. Hey everybody, it's John, Lake Erie Chestnuts. I'm going to answer a question today that I get a lot of questions about. What type of pot is the right pot to use when you're starting your chestnut trees or any other trees inside? Maybe I'll be a little controversial, we'll see. You see displayed here beside me some of the different pots I've used. This is a little 4-inch pot that I purchased off of Amazon. Very flimsy. If you clean them with soap and water or a little bit of bleach, you can get a couple years out of them if you want, or you can just discard them. The next one is one that I just saved from buying other little plants, just keeping around the house. So just if you buy some sort of vegetable or something, keep those pots. So that's an option. This is kind of a professional grower. It fits into a bigger planting tray, and you can get a little bit more volume of soil in there. That's about a 4.5, 5-inch pot by about 4.5 inches tall. We have tree pots and D pots. The D40L is about 2 inches by 10 inches, and they fit into the holes. I can show you on a video what type of tree. I've used these for the last couple years, especially for oaks, things with long tap roots. Same thing for these. This is it's put out by Stewie. This is, I believe, 3.5 or 4 inches by 8.5 inches. You can look these up. D pots and tree pots, these 2 different varieties. I've purchased stuff from Greenhouse Megastore. That's where I usually buy mine. I don't have any affiliation with them, but they've always seemed like they have pretty good prices and work out, get the stuff to me in a reasonable manner. You can go up bigger here. We got this pot here. It's about a half-gallon pot. So which one's the right one to use? Well, I'll tell you. If you're going to start your trees inside and they're going to be in those pots throughout the entire summer and you're not going to plant until the fall, I would automatically be done with these 2 smaller ones and potentially this one as well. If you're going to have them till the fall or even a whole year, you must put it in one of these 2 and then bury it or protect it from the cold in the winter if you're going to winter over and get 1 year. I think you can get 1 year of a chestnut in these 2. Definitely you can. But if you're going to start it in the house, grow it for a couple months, and then outplant them, doesn't matter. None of them matter. I've also used the root makers. I don't have any of those left. I've used them all up. But listen, the type of pot, in the first couple months, you'll read lots of data, lots of opinions, but I really haven't. Even though with root makers, I do see beautiful outside air-pruned roots, I still see some of that when I use these cheaper ones. So, I would love to say that the root makers make a huge difference. I just haven't seen it. So I think you would be much better off saving your money using leftover pots that you get from your vegetable garden, as long as you clean them and, you know, keep them clean. Or the cheap ones off of Amazon that you can get hundreds for a few dollars are going to be much better. If you're going to have to keep them for a whole summer, you're going to want something bigger, one of these two. And you can buy those on Greenhouse Mega Store. Maybe I'll post some links below. I don't have any affiliation, like I said. But like I said, if you're going to start them in the house, grow them for 2 or 3 months only, any of these pots are going to work. And then you can just get them out planted and save a bunch of money for buying tubes or protecting those trees. I'd put all the money there. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. If you have any questions, feel free to post a comment below the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd appreciate that. Click that subscribe button. It's almost time to plant those chestnuts. Hey guys, it's John back here from Lake Erie Chestnuts with questions I get asked all the time about how to raise chestnuts. This question is going to be a quick one. When do I start my chestnut seeds? I'll tell you, I used to start them in mid-February. The roots are starting to sprout. They're starting to get me excited. I'm ready to see something green. However, in Northwest Pennsylvania, with our last frost date being mid to late May, I don't want to outplant anything until Memorial Day. So I have really adjusted that. I get really sick and tired of watering the trees. As they start to grow, you know, they use more water. Even if they do like it on the dry side, you end up watering pretty frequently. Plus, my cat has become very ingenious in getting through the plastic of my little greenhouse I have here in the basement and loves to lay under that warm light. So the less time I have to deal with that, the better. So for me, I don't plant until very late March or early April. That gives me less than 8 weeks of having to care for them inside. I get to enjoy seeing green earlier, but it's a little less work, and those trees aren't near as leggy. They grow, they harden off much easier to go outside. So when do I grow them? Well, in Northwest Pennsylvania, I pick when I want to put them outside, and I back up 7 to 8 weeks and start my trees. What do you do with the long root? If there's a really long taproot, well, I've just kind of clipped it, and the trees seem to do well. If you don't want to clip it, well, you got to be real careful untangling them, and I stick a pencil all the way down in the soil and use that to put the root down, and then when I water the soil, well, then it all fills in around that root and it does just fine. So that's how I deal with that. That's the end of this edition of questions I'm asked all the time about how to grow chestnuts. Hey everybody, it's John, Lake Erie Chestnuts, with another episode of questions I'm asked all the time about how to grow chestnuts. And this one's going to be a quick answer. What type of soil do I prefer to start my chestnut seeds in? And I'll tell you, I've only experimented a little bit, but if something's working, I leave it at that. And I use Miracle-Gro potting mix, not soil. Potting mix. It works great, keeps the seeds from becoming too dry, but also from being overly saturated in a thick, dense soil. The roots grow really well, ends up with a nice root ball when it's time to outplant them. I'm not affiliated with Miracle-Gro in any way, although if they want to throw me a bone, I'll take it. There's other soils. Some people want to make it really complicated, add vermiculite, do this, that, the other. I don't mess with any of that. My time is valuable, and I don't feel like spending a ton of money, and I've had almost 95-98% success from the time I get a seed to sprout to the time I get them outside. So I'm not going to change something that's working. Miracle-Gro potting mix, not soil. That could be the green bag, or if you want moisture control, it's the blue bag. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed these frequently asked questions that I get. If you have any other questions, post below. We can put together another montage of answers from my opinion and from best practices that I've read elsewhere, and we'll grow chestnuts together. Remember, if you're not growing, you're dying.